Hello and welcome to my video today. I just received this box in from France and the company is called ChargeHanger and it's new, and I'm thanking Christoph for sending me this item to review today. I'm going to be unboxing, installing, and testing it out with both my Fisker Ocean and Tesla Model 3. So let's get started. So it arrives in this white cardboard box. The only labeling is the ChargeHanger logo right here. So let me flip open the lid and check it out. All right, so we have the actual ChargeHanger itself, and the hardware is all attached with a zip tie. So let me remove the zip tie. All right, let's look at the ChargeHanger itself. It is a steel bar that is shaped with some loops here to hold the charge cable, and the handle would come out this end. This end here would go to a mounting plate. So let's see what we got in here. All right, so it was inside this white bubble wrap bag, and this is the mount itself. So I'll show you in detail when I do install it, but the arm goes through the top, and depending on which direction you want it to go, you'll pick the hole for that. And then to mount this on the wall, we'll use 3 screws. In my situation, I have a Slatwall system, so I'm going to do a slightly different installation method of putting this on a Slatwall mount and then attach that to the wall. Let's look and see what's inside here. And here is the hook that holds the charge handle, and you can mount this on the wall wherever you need it, or you can mount it just below the mount like that, and it's kind of like a one-piece system. So I think I'm going to install it like this because I like the look of it being as one. So yeah, I think that's how I'm going to install mine. So pretty simple, just these 3 parts. Now this doesn't come with any hardware for mounting, such as screws. You're going to need to go to a hardware store and purchase those. And since I'm not going to be using screws, I don't need to purchase them. But if you do, I would recommend something that would go into drywall or wood behind that. For example, here are 3 longer screws or 3 shorter screws. Either of these would probably work when you're mounting to drywall or to wood studs. If you're using something like concrete, you'll probably use masonry type screws or bolts in that situation. Here's an example of the screws inserted, what they would look like. This is the mount that I made for my slat wall. This part back here is going to get inserted into the slat wall, and then this part here is where I'm going to attach the mounting plate for the ChargeHanger. And I just need to make some additional holes here, here, and here, and I'll fasten that down with some screws. Now I'm going to test this mount on the wall. So I have my slat wall system here, and all I need to do is insert it like this, and then on the bottom there's a screw that I tighten. It locks it into place. So if you're installing this on your wall, if you have drywall or wood studs in your garage, you would line this up with a level and make sure it is straight. I would also mark it on the wall where you need to drill. You're going to have 2 holes here, 1 hole here. And then when you're done, make sure that when you mount it, it is level. For example, right here, you can see that my mount is level. All right, at this point, when you've decided where to locate the mount on the wall, we can actually do that. Before I put it on the wall, I wanted to show you how you insert the arm into the mount. So here's the mount right here. You insert the arm into the top opening, then you slide it down. You're going to put it in the left or right hole depending on what direction you want it to go in. I am going to put mine in the right hole so that it goes against the left side of the wall where I mount it. So that's what I'm going to do with the arm. So I'm going to put it kind of right over the area where the charge cable cord is wrapped. Going to insert it here. Going to tighten it into the slat wall system. If you had just a regular sheetrock or wood studs, you would screw it in at that point. Make sure it's level. One thing that may happen is if it's not level front to back, you may need to put some shims in it so that when the arm is resting, it rests near the wall. At this point, I'm going to insert the arm into the top. I'm going to put it into the right opening. And here is where you would use it fully extended, would come out to here. And if I park the car right here, that's where it would reach to. And then when you're done, you would push it against the wall. Right now, it may not go all the way to the wall, but once I put the cable on, it probably will. So I'll be testing that out now. As far as the length of the cord, if your car is in this position, you may have to do this a few times to get the length of it correct. But if you have it so that some of it dangles down about this high, that should be good. I am going to put, let's see, I think I am going to put it around this side. Then you put it through this loop here. Then you put it through this loop. And then when you're done with it, you would swing it over here and put the cable into the handle right there. So as you can see, it goes against the wall when it's not being used. And when I do want to use it, I just grab the handle, straighten this out, and then plug it into the car. So I'm going to go get my Tesla and bring it into the garage, and then I'll test out how it works with the ChargeHanger. All right, I have my Tesla in the garage right now. I'm opening the charge port. I'm going to put my J1772 to Tesla adapter onto the handle. And then I am going to swing the bar over and put the charge handle in. And let's see the length of this, how that works. I may want to adjust a little bit more. Let's see. So there we go. What I may do is I may relocate this a little bit. How about that? Of course, when you're first setting this up, you may have to fiddle around with the cable to get it in just the right position, and then you can lock it in. So I am going to put this right here. And then let's see, is that good? All right, so it is off the floor now, so I can go. And if I had the car a little bit further out, it would probably even be better. Since this is a very thick cable, it tends to be very heavy, and it is pulling down on the ChargeHanger quite a bit. I think it's better designed for lighter cables such as the Tesla mobile connector, and I'm going to be testing this one out next. But as far as this goes, it seems to work, and the only problem is the cable here is, if I move the car in a little bit more, it'd probably be better. But it does kind of get in the way a little bit, the way this is going right here. But I can walk through it, as you can see. And that is one of the biggest benefits, is to get the charge cord off the floor to avoid tripping. It also keeps the charge cord cleaner. And I think it just, overall, it's better to have it up off the floor. So yeah, so that's basically what it looks like with the heavier EVSE cable. I am now going to disconnect, and then I am going to swing it back this way and then put the charge cable on here. So yeah, so that's basically what to do. So yeah, so yeah, that's basically it. It's a very simple device. This charge hanger will keep the cord off the floor, avoid the tripping hazard, and there you go. So not much more to say about it. So let me change this out and use my other EVSE right here and see how that works. All right, here is my Tesla Gen 2 mobile connector. I am just going to mount that, roughly around here underneath the plug. And I'm going to route the cable. I'm going to plug it in and see how the cable distance works right here. There we go. That seems to be enough slack on it. All right. So as you can see, I can walk underneath it. I got plenty of clearance to get around the car. Yeah, I think it works a little bit better with the lighter cable from the Tesla mobile connector. There may be other EVSEs out there that have the lighter cables, and this seems to work best with this Tesla mobile connector. Definitely looks better. It's not hanging down as much. Seems to be supporting it really well. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So when I'm done charging, I pull it out, and then I just swing it this way and put the handle right here. And there we go. It's out of the way. So even if I have other things hanging on the wall, this won't interfere. And the height of this is also dependent on how tall you are and also the height of your garage. I think this one works pretty well. It's about, I would say that's almost 7 feet. Yeah, I would say this is probably the lowest you would want to have for height. But it's nice because it doesn't interfere with the height of the garage door or anything else in the area. Yeah, I think that works out pretty well for me. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, there's a lot of different variations you can do. You could mount this in between cars. You could have a post on the ceiling and mount it to that. You can swing it that way. You could also have it in the front of the garage if you wanted to have it that way. If you want to back in your car and head the charge port in that direction. Yep, so it's very flexible in how you position your EVSE. You would match this up to the EVSE. Another neat thing is there's built-in holes for locking the cable to the mount. So if you have like one of these or one of these, you could put it through that and you could lock your cable. So you can do it from either the left or the right side. Now I removed the Tesla from the garage and I backed in my Fisker Ocean. The difference is, instead of the charge port being on this side, it's going to be on the opposite side. So let's see how that works. What I did is I extended the cable on here so that it will reach to that area. So I just move this out, then go to this side of the car, open the charge port and plug it in. And if you notice, I can walk through here, no problem. It's plenty of distance here. Goes over the hood, touches the windshield, but that's not that big a deal. The most important thing is it keeps this area clear. So you can walk through, and especially if you're charging overnight, when it's in the morning and it's dark out, you won't walk into the cable or trip on it on the ground. Yeah, so this seems to work pretty nicely. Even if you have a car that has the charge port on the other side. All right, when I'm done charging, I remove the cable. What I'll do is I'll swing this back against the wall. And I'm gonna take the cable here and put it on the hook. And there we go. Out of the way. And the cable stays nice and clean. All right, so I showed you charging with both my Tesla Model 3 and my Fisker Ocean. And as you can see, it works super well with my Tesla mobile connector. As you can see, the cable goes all the way across the hood to the charge port on the driver's side of the car. Then when I'm done, I take the cord off, put it against the wall, hang it up on the hook, and it's out of the way. The only negative that I have is that it seems to strain a little bit on the heavier EVSC cords. For example, the one that I showed you at the very beginning, since that cord is about twice as thick as this one is. And that causes the arm to lower a bit because of the weight. But otherwise, it still works. Maybe a solution is to aim the mount so that it is more upright. So when you do have a heavier cable, the arm doesn't go down as much. That is a possibility. So maybe you can adjust how it's mounted. Also, the mount that I'm using here is not the perfect one that I would use. The best one that I have is one of these right here, but I can't get another one. So I need to order one of these when they're available again. This is a much sturdier mount and it's closer to the wall. So I think once I attach this mount to something like this, it should be even better. And I think it would work with the heavier cable. If you're interested in this item, I have the link in the video description. As I mentioned, it's fairly inexpensive for what you're getting. I really enjoy it. I think it works really nice. It kind of blends in with my garage pretty well. And when you have it against the wall, it doesn't take up a lot of space. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.